Hello, I am Tony Chavaria, founder of both ROLLER-PIGEON.COM and the Ruby Roller strain of Birmingham Roller Pigeons. This presentation is an introduction to the 5 primary traits I first discuss in my publication, How to Breed Better Rollers. I use these traits to guide my development of the Ruby Rollers strain. The approach I am going to describe now has helped me to overcome the shortcomings that I see with the commonly accepted Birmingham Roller breed standard. Normally, a breed standard will be a precise and measured written description of the breed being judged. This would apply to any typical show breed animal like goats, cats, dogs, rabbits, and certain breeds of pigeons. These show breeds will have a written standard providing a precise description of measurable traits that act as a guide when making breeding decisions. So this informs the breeder to know just how he should select and breed his stock. A well-written standard is useful and practical in that it helps ensure the purity and integrity of the breed down through the years. The breeder has his target, the particular identifiable genetic traits described in that breed's standard. The better an animal conforms to its standard, the better the specimen and the better results in the show pen. However, with the Birmingham Roller, we don't have the luxury of a breed standard that has each valued physical trait written out in precise language. The Birmingham Roller breed standard is not written in the same manner as the typical breed standard for show pen animals. The breed standard for the Birmingham Roller is a description of performance and not any particular physical traits that can be precisely measured. This presents an interesting problem because we can't simply pull out the ruler and scale, apply a penciled measuring tape to our written performance standard. We can only decide the ideal specimen by flying the bird and comparing it to the performance description from a vantage point that usually has the observer hundreds of feet away. This makes for a very complicated and challenging breed standard to not only understand, but to observe. And to add to this is the fact that too many roller fanciers do not even know what the Birmingham Roller Pigeon performance standard is. For my own use, I worked out a solution to this lack of a measurable breed standard by taking the performance description and breaking it down to no less than 4 particular identifiable genetic traits that I believe can be selected and bred for. This is where the 5 primary traits come from. My attempt to morph a performance description into actual physical genetic traits that can be seen and observed and then be bred for. So in this video, I will review the Birmingham Roller's aerial standard and then show the morphing of that description into identifiable physical genetic traits. I can't say that my description is a perfect explanation or that it cannot be improved upon. I am simply describing how this helped me in putting together my strain through the flying and breeding and selection process. Primary trait 1. The bird that rolls over backward. This would be a roller that is not hesitant about the act of turning over backward. It is stimulated to more rolling by the same rolling activity of its kit mates. It responds to proper kit management by demonstrating even more rolling. Some of the main points: this is a bird that commits to the act of rolling, not hesitant, stimulates and is stimulated by its kit mates' rolling action. Primary trait 2. Velocity. With inconceivable rapidity. The speed of the actual single backward roll is so fast that if you blinked, you missed it. But when combined with numerous consecutive backward turns, the speed is such that you cannot count the actual number of backward rolls that the bird just performed. Main points: demonstrates speed in the roll, snaps into and out of the roll, whether a single flip or a series of consecutive somersaults. Hard to count multiple rolls precisely. Primary trait 3. Depth. Through a considerable distance. The distance dropped in a particular moment in time. It is reasonably estimated that since an object falls at about 32 feet per second, that rolling for a clock time of as low as 0.5 to 1.0 seconds will be a roller that is falling a considerable distance. So, performs 1.5 to 1 second each time, drops 15 to 30 feet. Primary trait 4. Control. Like a spinning ball. the ability for the bird to commit to a precise set of motions with the relevant muscle and mental strength to maintain, hold, and then release completely from the motion in a single fluid movement and moment. Key points: performance so precise that the bird resembles a spinning ball when viewed at a side angle. When viewed from underneath, the bird can resemble a high X or H pattern. Primary trait 5, type. This fifth primary trait, type, is not actually any part of the aerial standard, but in deconstructing my best birds, I found certain physical traits appeared to be dominant in the best ones. For example, I found these traits to be in my dominant birds: cobby body style, strong perch presence, shallow keel, wing tips and end of tail either line up in hens or the tail can be about a quarter to a half inch longer than the wing tips when in the resting stance in cocks. Short versus a long beak, the bird being triangular shaped when viewed from above. The bird is muscular. The bird has a single tail feather to 1.5 tail feather width. It has tight feather. It also has yellow to orangish eyes. In closing, I hope you found this presentation on the 5 primary traits useful in understanding how I approach breeding my strain of Ruby Rollers. No doubt, some may be able to offer ideas to improve on this approach, but in any event, this is the strategy that worked for me to single out genetic traits that I could work with as I develop my own strain of Birmingham Rollers. Thanks for watching.